My friends, I'm afraid there's some sad news. Apple just killed the mini PC market. I need to investigate that claim, and I bought these two boxes. Inside there is a Mac Mini, the brand new Mac Mini. Look. This is not just gonna be like an overview and unboxing with useless information. I'm a PC guy. I've actually dived deeper into some of the things that Apple offers on the M4 Mac Minis. I wanna figure out if these claims are true, because if they are, that's the end of mini PCs. Let me explain. This part of the video is sponsored by iThankYou Fusion Dock Max 1. The ultimate Thunderbolt 4 dock designed for Apple Silicon. The connectivity of it is simply insane. It supports 4 up to 6K displays up to 60 Hz. Because of the dual Thunderbolt 4 support, you will never run out of ports again. If you're looking for the ultimate dock for your Apple Silicon, then this one is most likely it. Check out the dock in the video description below and make sure you take advantage of their Black Friday sales. Now, these Mac Minis are absolutely amazing. I have actually 3 of them. I've got the M1, M2, and the M2 Pro, which is benchmarking down there. And what I want to know is, how good is the M lineup of Mac Minis according to the new ones? Because I didn't just buy one, I bought 2 Mac Minis, the M4 and M4 Pro. Mac Mini, it should be like Mac Nano or Mac Micro or something like that. And this is the M4 chip, 16 gigabytes of unified memory, which is good news. Previously, Apple only offered 8, but finally now there is 16 gigabytes. But in a minute, you'll see how Apple's upgrading ladder is absolutely messed up. It's so weird. Not just weird, but I think it's broken. In fact, I think there's a chance that Apple might need to fix this and actually offer lower price upgrades. I'll show you in a minute. Look at the size difference. Now, one of the things that is already, memeing around the internet is this button on the bottom of the Mac Mini. Here's a solution. Why don't you just have the Mac Mini upside down? Intake and exhaust here, voila. Or you can have it the right way if you wanted to. In terms of the ports and I/O, there's 2 USB Type-C ports in the front. And these are not Thunderbolt 4 or 5. These are actually USB-C ports, 10 gigabits per second. And then you've got 1 headphone and mic combo jack in the front, which is really nice. So if you want to use headphones on your desk, you don't have to plug in the back of them. You can just use the front, which is much more convenient. And then in the back, look at that. We have 3 Thunderbolt 4 or Thunderbolt 5 ports. If you've got the M4, which this is, then these are Thunderbolt 4 ports. If you've got the M4 Pro, then these are Thunderbolt 5. HDMI port, gigabit LAN port, and finally the power cord. Now, in some ways, this is an actual downside, because if you look at the M2 Pro chip, then you had 4 Thunderbolt USB-Cs in the back, whereas in here, only 3. Underneath, we've got a really nice braided power cord cable, and then circular Apple documents and guides, but no Apple stickers. Now, on the back of the box, it says that this is carbon neutral box. Okay, let's call Apple out on this. This is not carbon neutral if you have to cut out a circle of a paper and then waste all the paper around. Now, I'm a PC guy, and I'm actually going to be putting these through their paces. I'm going to be testing all of the M Silicon Mac Minis, and how do these compare? So if you'd like to see that, hit that like button, subscribe, so you're not going to miss any of the videos. So now you've got an option between the M4 and M4 Pro, and which one should you be getting? The Mac Mini should actually be costing over $4,000. Here's why. Less than 3 years ago, Apple released the M1 Max MacBook Pro, which cost $4,000. And apparently this M4 Pro Mac Mini is faster than that. That is ridiculous. And I hope to find out if that is true. Stick around, hit that subscribe button to find out. Let's turn it on. I am curious if I can actually connect Bluetooth devices straight away to there without any other mouse. So for example, I've got my MX Master 3S here. Okay, I've got it on. See, the mouse is working. That is amazing. This you can't do on Windows. Windows, I have no idea how to do that on Windows. I'm gonna update that later. Most likely need an update when getting this Mac. That was the surprise for the end of the video. Came a bit early. So let's test how good these Macs are then. First, we've got the M4, which is a 10-core CPU. I've got some sensors over here. So let's press go on the multi-core and then see how much power are we pulling. So package power right now, about 20 watts on the M4. Let's see how that changes. As you can see, it lets the CPU cores run very, very hot. And the power supply goes quite warm as well. One of the other things I'm testing as it's doing this is how loud is it going to be, because these are very popular with music producers and people who want absolute silent operation. Because they've made it smaller, were they actually able to keep it quiet as well? Right now it's going super hot, as you can see, 110 degrees on some of these CPU cores, 111 degrees. That's quite insane, but it's still pulling 21, 22 watts. So it looks like it's not thermally throttling, even though if you look at the frequency, as you can see, the P cores are kind of going up and down, up and down, up and down there. Like you can't hear it even like that. Okay, if I put my ear right to it, you can kind of hear that, yeah, the PC is on, but the noise is absolutely very, very quiet. All the CPU cores are red. Power supply, everything's like 100 degrees there. It's a cooking temperature there. Bear in mind, look at this score here. Our M4 is gonna be very, very close to the M1 Max. No, we're not gonna go past it, are we? Because that will be we've just gone past it. Okay, I can hear that the fan is on, but it's very good noise. Now, usually these size mini PCs, and I have tested loads on the channel, absolutely tons. I'm actually using all of my mini PCs right now to chop salad, and I'm working on a video how much can you make if you use all of the mini PCs chopping salad. If you don't know what that is, if you'd like to know, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. But all of those mini PCs, they're very, very annoying noise that comes out of it. This is right now keeping it at 100 degrees, okay? So it's not thermally throttling because we're still pushing 21, 22 watts through. By the way, that 21, 22 watts is very, very low power usage. I've seen mini PCs this size pushing 80, 90, 100 watts. I've got a test bench set up there that runs a 360mm AIO, and I can hear the pump louder over there than what this fan very close to me here can do. Okay, it just completed it, and as you can see, it very stably kind of kept it under 21 to 23 watt kind of a power draw. Look, now our temperatures are going down and the fan speeds are going down and everything, but 904 score. That is pretty amazing. Just for reference, the M2 Pro is around 810, and I was running some things in the background, which right now is super impressive. So if you want to see the full scores, stick around till later because we've got that video coming out. Let's swap over to the M4 Pro. So we've got exactly the same thing going on here, and now we've got 12 cores instead of 10 cores. We've got our sensors open here as well. Now let's do exactly the same on the Cinebench here, multi-core go. And here you can also see the fan speed. So right now it's idling 1000 RPM, but look at that. The M4 Pro, exactly the same package, is pulling 38, 39, roughly around 40 watts power draw. That's close to double the power draw on the M4 Pro. Oh wow, that's gonna be in the thousands, 1079. Okay, the M4 Pro just finished, and it took significantly less time than the M4. It was so much quicker. And we've got 1324, and I'm running these things in the background. Do you know how insane of a score that is compared to this? If you look at the desktop, okay, the desktop, like Ryzen 7700X and Intel Core i5 13600K, which both are pulling roughly around 145 watts, okay, somewhere around there, compared to these guys that pull 39 and 22 watts. The M4 Pro is basically the same as the 13600K and faster than the Ryzen 7700X, which is absolutely ridiculous in such a small form factor. That makes me think the mini PC market is going to be interrupted so much. Never mind if I'm going to close everything up and properly benchmark them. These guys are not just mini, they are beasts. They're mini beasts. Makes these guys look absolutely ancient. Also, when talking about the airflow, how the airflow actually works in here is usually they used to have an exhaust from the back like on the bigger ones, but in here you've got an intake from the front of these fans, and then it goes around the PC and then out from the back. Now, is it faster than the M1 Max? It absolutely whoops the M1 Max. If you look at these cores, we're getting closer to the M1 Ultra, which is 2 of the M1 Maxes together. That's seriously impressive. I don't know what to say. But let's talk about the upgrades. Should you get the M4 or the M4 Pro? You know, should you upgrade the RAM because now you got 16 gigabytes as standard? Should you go even more than that? I think Apple's got some serious issues here. Let me show you this. So first of all, on the left, I've got the M4 base Mac Mini, okay? As you can see, it comes with 16 gigabytes of unified memory, 256 gigabytes of storage, which is absolutely ridiculous, Apple. I know they've done it on purpose. Like Marcus Brownlee says, he believes that there's one guy on Apple who just makes sure that something about the device is a little bit off. The same guy who probably did the power button, you know, did this upgrade options, but it's actually just wrong. Look at this. If we're gonna double it, the RAM on the base model, going from 16 to 32 gigabytes, we're paying $400 extra. So we're getting extra 16 gigabytes for $400. If we are upgrading the SSD storage from 256 to 512 gigabytes, okay, we have literally doubled our price point where the M4 Mac Mini starts, which means that the upgrades, just the RAM and the SSD upgrade, just to double it, will cost exactly the same as the rest of the chassis, cooling, the actual CPU chip, the actual M4 chip, which doesn't make any sense to me. Why are you paying for literally upgrading the RAM and storage more than what the actual device, the whole device costs? The packaging, the wires, there's something off in there. I mean, seriously off. It shouldn't be like that. Because if you look at the M4 Pro on here, on the right side, you can see that if we upgrade the RAM from 24 gigabytes to 48 gigabytes, which means that we're paying now $400 for not 16 gigabytes of RAM, but 24 gigabytes of RAM. So suddenly our upgrades are cheaper. And for extra $200, we're not getting 256 gigabytes of storage, what we saw on the left. But now, for that same price, we're getting 512 gigabytes of storage, which just shows that the M4 upgrade path, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, it comes to the point where I'm saying, there's no point buying the M4 if you want to upgrade it. If you're thinking about upgrading it, just don't. Don't do it. Like the M4 base, it's just for the base model, okay? Don't upgrade the RAM. It's ridiculous. If you're thinking about upgrading, you better buy the base model of the M4 Pro because it's cheaper. Thinking about that now, did Apple do that on purpose? Because that is ridiculous. Please do not upgrade your storage on the Mac. Do not give Apple $400 for 750 gigabytes of storage. Look at that. For that amount, you get so much more and better storage. Have a look at my storage guide for Apple, how you can get it so much cheaper and so much faster and so much more reliable, so much more warranty, everything so much more than this. This is not okay, Apple. This is a beast, but this is not okay. When talking about buying the Mac and which one should you be getting, there is another option further down, which is 10 gigabit Ethernet for $100. And this is actually a very good deal, because if you are thinking about upgrading your networking in your home, or you're running like a local NAS or however way networking and you need 10 gigabit Ethernet, having it from the get-go at $100 from Apple is much, much better and cheaper than actually trying to buy that. So if you try to go on Amazon and try to look for Thunderbolt to 10 gigabit adapters, as you can see, they're all going more than $100, often twice the price, if not even more. Just bear that in mind. So we're at this point of the video, and in order to show you the surprise, I'm gonna have to change my shirt. This over here just arrived. And in here is a MacBook Pro. And give a guess, which CPU configuration is this one? This is a 16-inch M4, but is it Pro or Max? Let me know. Let me tell you this much. It's not Checo.